What's up, guys, and welcome to yet another episode of Lowdown.
We've got exclusive interviews with local bands and some cool artists, and a few of our guys went out dancing.
We've got all this and more coming up on this episode of Lowdown.
Welcome to Lowdown, your source for all things art and music around Akron. I'm Jenna.
And I'm Josh, and it's time to get into the swing of things, Gatsby style.
Our very own Rob Kortz went with the Ballroom Dance Club at the University of Akron to show us what a swing dance looks like.
Yeah, the Great Gatsby Spring Night is going to be exciting. We're collaborating with the Ballroom Dance Club, which we really like to do. So since we are a student organization, we really like to get other student organizations involved and invite them to help out with our events. So since we're doing swing dancing, what better night than ask the Ballroom Dance Club to help teach lessons?
My name is Andrea Rupley, and I'm the president of the Ballroom Club. I can't count how many times that I've led a dance class. It's certainly different than participating in the dance class and versus being the teacher. It's a successful day when people are interested and happy with what they're learning. So the Ballroom Dance Club has two elements. We have a social night on Thursday nights every week. We teach salsa and swing, and so the stuff that you learn there you can take to swing dance clubs or salsa bars that are local. We learn traditional ballroom dancing and Latin dancing. I definitely experienced that awkward boys on one side and girls on the other in middle school dances, but to get away from that, I did a really good job of teaching the men etiquette. So when you go up to a lady, you ask her, "Can I please have this dance?" And more often than not, she'll say, "Yes, of course, I'd love to dance." The Ballroom Dance Club is not only a great way to meet people, but to have fun, experience something new, and it really is an addiction. Once you get started, you can't stop.
Ain't no party like a Gatsby party. That actually looked like a lot of fun. Next time, I'm there.
Well, while you wait for your invitation, we can check out this really cool local band I found. I got to sit down with the members of Seldom Fade and talk about how the band started and where they're headed next.
I'm Xavier Denton, and I play guitar and sing backing vocals.
I'm Trent Pryor. I sing lead vocals and I also play guitar.
And I'm Matt Renault. I play bass, and that's just about it.
And I'm Kyle Miner. I play drums.
The band started around when I got done recording my first solo album. It's funny because he actually hated my guts the first time he met me.
It's true.
It was, we went to the same high school together. I was a senior, he was a sophomore, and every single time I would look at him, he would just give me this death look. Xavier?
That was freshman year.
Like, Xavier, do this death look. There you go. See? Finally, we became friends, and he was the one that was into the same music that I was, and we became an acoustic duo. He knew a guy who played drums. All together, we've been together for about, like, I think 6 years now.
Definitely gotten a lot more kind of hard rocky, grungy sounding as compared to the very acoustic,
Soft rock.
sounding songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the very Goo Goo Dolls.
Yeah, 'cause
soft rock.
that's originally what my music was written for. It was like that kind of genre, like the Lighthouse, Goo Goo Dolls, like acoustic rock kind of stuff. Basically, the thing is we're huge perfectionists, so projects that get done by us are a little bit slower than most local bands. We definitely don't want to release anything that's not up to snuff with what we want it to sound like. Follow us, Seldom Fade, on Facebook and Twitter,
Snapchat.
Snapchat, Instagram, SoundCloud.
Yes.
We actually have a preview of our song Distance on there. You guys should go and check it out.
We have 2 shows coming up. One is October 7th at the Outpost in Kent. We're opening up for Puddle of Mud. And the second show is actually the day after, on October 8th. We are playing at Beautiful Souls Fest up in Lakewood.
Please message us for those tickets. We're Seldom Fade, and we hope to see you guys soon.
It looks like you had a pretty good time. They seem like a group of really chill guys.
Yeah, they were really great, and their music is awesome. I can't wait to see what they do next.
Well, you get to see what we have next when Lowdown returns from this commercial break.
Welcome back to Lowdown. Josh, I've been looking for something cool to do around campus. Do you have any suggestions?
Actually, Jenna, I do. I recently got the pleasure of sitting down with locally and nationally recognized artist Don Drumm, and even got to explore his amazing gallery. It's super close to campus and there's tons to look at. Let's take a look.
Hello, I'm Don Drumm, and what you're hearing in the background is called the Music of the Spirits. These are all outdoor units that we like to handle, wind chimes, as they're more formally called. I always like to have them in the background of any interview like this. Calculus inspired me to be an artist. I started in pre-med at Hiram College, and at the end of my freshman year we studied one thing at a time, and at the end of my freshman year calculus came up. Now you normally have quarters and semesters now. Back then at that school they specialized in terms. You had 5 terms, 7 weeks each, and it was great if you liked the subject or you were prepared for that. And when my last 5th term came up, I had calculus. The birds were out, the butterflies were out, everything was happening, and I didn't want to take calculus. So I took a 1/4 of the space in this building, quartered it off so that I could have it later on for a gallery, and I had enough money to finish that space. I'm so glad I did that, because if I hadn't done that, the whole building would be filled with my junk and doing things. So that started the gallery. We've added on to the gallery 2 or 3 times. We bought this building here we call the Different Drummer, which is a 100-year-old house, workers' house. All this was workers' area for Goodyear, Goodrich, Firestone, all this. And we rebuilt the house and turned it into a gallery. And let's see, 70 we bought the original building, 78 we bought this building, and redid the parking lot and began to pull it together. Now we represent over 500 professional artists from all over the U.S. With emphasis in contemporary crafts. That's the main building. That's 99% American crafts. Over here in the different drum room, you're linked together with the courtyard we happen to be in, which is open in the winter too. Different drummer has crafts in it. It has some fun things for kids. And it has some interesting manufactured or imported things from around the countryside. So they both relate to each other, and people love going from one building to the other.
That place is gorgeous. Hashtag date night ideas.
Well, Jenna, first you actually have to find someone to take you on a date.
Ooh, good one, Josh. Let me go put some ice on that burn. And while you wait for me, we can take it over to Jack Stern, who's giving us a countdown of the top 10 new releases from the past 2 months.
Hello everyone, I'm Jack Stern. Now we're only a quarter of the way through the semester and music just refuses to stop coming out. With hundreds of albums being released every day, who has time to even keep track of everything? But don't spend too much time worrying though, because I'm about to give you a rundown of some of the best albums from August and September of this year. Coming up is the latest album from Clipping, Splendor and Misery. Fresh off his run on the Tony Award-winning musical Hamilton, Daveed Diggs returns to the experimental noise rap group Clipping. Daveed takes many of the ideas and themes that he dealt with on Hamilton and creates a narrative experience. The story focuses on a man escaping slavery on a space slave ship in a far-flung dystopian future. Something I did not expect the group to do at all after releasing a more straightforward EP earlier this year. Raw instrumentals of clanging metal and whirling sirens create the atmosphere of the ship, and Daveed's lyrics match the raw nature of the story they are telling. The album mixes the sounds of a spaceship from centuries in the future with frequent ventures into the past, as the album dishes out these soulful ballads that sound something like the slaves of the past would have heard. Many of the tracks on this album ultimately depend on the narrative flow in order to achieve the same impact, making this album more of a sum of its parts. The way all the different elements of the album come together in such a powerful way, though, is what makes it one of the more interesting hip-hop albums of 2016. Coming in at number 4 on our list is No Name's new mixtape, Telephone. Chicago rapper No Name brings us one of the more unique hip-hop projects of 2016. No Name borrows some of her style from other Chicago rappers like Chance the Rapper, choosing very earnest subject matter and playful beats. No Name stands apart from her contemporaries though, thanks to her commitment to being a more humble rapper while still having a very interesting personality on all of her tracks. No Name's lyrics about her own life and exploits feel down to earth and match all of the idyllic xylophones and watery pianos that litter the instrumentals on this tape. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds are the third item on this list with the new album Skeleton Tree. Continuing his legacy as an innovative alternative rock artist, Nick Cave returns with another album with his fellow Australian band members. Tonally, this album is another very dark affair, as it explores the ideas of grief and death as Cave saw them when his 15-year-old son died. The minimalist production of this album creates a very dreary backdrop for Cave's dissonant vocals. If you want an album that isn't afraid to take risks with its song structures and its musical content, then don't hesitate to give this album a listen. And the penultimate album from my list is from none other than Detroit rapper Danny Brown with his latest album, Atrocity Exhibition. And what is shaping up to be one of my favorite hip-hop records of the year, Danny Brown pulls zero punches. Every song on this album brings a unique sound to the table, leaving you surprised throughout your first listen. With plenty of star producers like Paul White and The Alchemist handling some of the production on this album, all of the beats have interesting elements. From the raunchy horns on Ain't It Funny, the spooky synths on White Lines, to the militant children's choir on Today. Then there's the song Really Doe, which has landmark features from Ab-Soul and Earl Sweatshirt. Danny Brown's vocals are as bombastic as ever and showcase a greater variety of flows than his previous work, and his lyrics range from depraved to hilarious. In short, this is a project that hip-hop fans won't want to ignore. Coming in at number 1 on my list is Frank Ocean's long-awaited album, Blonde. Much like many of the other projects that made it onto the top slots on my list, Frank Ocean's new album is very emotional and human. Frank Ocean brings his trademark falsetto back in full force to give some even more mesmerizing R&B. In comparison to his first album, Channel Orange, Blonde takes a much more stripped-down approach to its instrumentals and tends to let them build and change over the course of each track in order to give the album a more visceral feel. Some might find the style a bit more of a slow burn, but more dedicated listeners such as myself found plenty to pick apart between all the modest but well-placed features, the cathartic lyrics, and all the beautiful flourishes that made each instrumental on this album very interesting. And that about does it for my countdown of the best albums of August and September 2016. Tune in next time for some more of your favorite music-related content on Lowdown.
Thanks, Jack. I'm definitely going to have to give some of those albums a listen.
Same here, but you know, that's not the only cool thing Jack got to do this week. He also went to a local shop and checked out all kinds of vintage goods and antiques. So let's head over to Birchwood Supply Company and see what they have to offer.
When you walk into Birchwood Supply, you know, you're walking into me. And you're walking into who I am, my aesthetic, the things I enjoy. You know, and essentially the way I've surrounded myself the last few years. Getting to this point, opening the shop, it's been a long and winding road. I was in education for 9 years, in a really good place in life. I loved what I did. With every bit of it, I loved education, I loved working with people, and my life has always been based on relationships. I started along this path about 4 years ago with a good friend of mine, and then it just evolved. You know, I found, like I was saying earlier, I found my craft. I found what my art is, and it's, you know, curating a store with found objects, and then it's also creating things. You know, and that's why I kind of do this, because everything tells a story. You know, whether it's taken as is, or redone in a way that is functional for someone. You know, I just want to bring value to whether that's their home, their business, or just giving somebody the opportunity to unlock some, you know, creativity inside themselves. That's ultimately, I think, what we're all in a way looking for when we kind of tap into that creative, artistic side. That everybody has the capability of being an artist. You know, being an artist doesn't mean you're fixing a painting worth millions of dollars. You know, it's more than that. It's your lived everyday experience and the things you see around you. Ultimately, getting to this point has been supportive people for me. People that have believed in me, pushed me, and allowed me to kind of grow in what I'm doing. And I think ultimately, with what I'm trying to do with the store, I think people enjoy authenticity. So the goods here they're authentic. That's what they are. You know, and they tell a story. I have items throughout the store, upstairs and downstairs. As people walk around, it brings them back to their childhood. It brings them back to when they were younger. It brings them back to something they had in the house. I love taking pieces of history, and I only work from reclaimed materials, so they all have a history to it. So taking those things and creating something new from it, whether it be tables, whether it be functional for the home or the business, you know, lighting, different wall pieces, installations, things like that. So I've got a handful of some awesome taxidermy in the shop that I love. I think that brings value to somebody's home in a different way. I'm not a hunter, I'm not anything along those lines. I just enjoy them and trying to find a good home for them. And then my custom work. I think for me that's the most exciting thing, because that is kind of where I pour a lot of myself into, and tapping into those creative juices inside of me. People ask me, you know, how do you get the things in the shop that you get? Where do you get it? All of those things. You know, it's whatever catches my eye. You know, and obviously there's an aesthetic we're going for, and the quality of goods that we put in the shop. Birchwood Supply is much more than just a traditional retail shop. You know, there are antique shops, and they've existed for decades. And you know, I grew up going in and out with my old man and my mom, and I love doing that stuff. But what I always wanted to do, and going back to that initial question of, you know, bringing value and what do I bring to the community, obviously it's a brick and mortar retail shop, so there are things we offer that are for sale. I have my custom design work, which I do commissioned pieces. You know, if people have something specific for the home that they want, I work with bars and restaurants and different establishments. And then there are just custom pieces I'm doing that I want to put on the floor at the shop. The best way to follow us and give us a shout out in what we're doing, Instagram, Facebook are our two main avenues of just staying in touch with people and what we're doing. So Facebook and Instagram are both at Birchwood Supply Co. So it's Birchwood Supply, CO on the end of it. Our website, we're still working on stuff. We're getting ready to launch our merchant sales online. So that's the same thing. It's birchwoodsupplyco.com. Those are the 3 easiest ways you can get in contact with me, through the website, through Instagram, through Facebook, all of that.
His work looked pretty neat. I might have to check out his shop one day.
Count me in, I love vintage stuff. But hey, we've got a few more things coming up, so Lowdown will be back right after the commercial break.
Welcome back to Lowdown. You know what I love the sound of, Jenna?
Bacon sizzling in the morning.
Well, but that's not really the answer I was looking for. What I really love the sound of is a good ukulele.
I think what you mean to say is a good ukulele player.
All right, well, our own Leslie Flores got to sit down with a local ukulele player.
Well, you can't just sit down and interview a ukulele, Josh.
How about we just watch the clip?
Hi, I'm Johnny Rocco. I'm a local musician here in the Akron area. I play the ukulele. I like to play out in some of the coffee shops and a few of the bars out in the area. It's just a fun way to spend some time. Well, she marked a trail up the Backbone Ridge. How many times can one go? I've played probably about 10 years. As a joke, one Christmas, someone bought me a ukulele, and so I thought I better show them I learned how to play it. And I just started with a few songs and a few chords, and that's what's fun about the ukulele. You don't have to know everything at once. You can start slow and small, and just start with the songs that you like to play. And you just find yourself getting better and better and learning more about it and having more fun. The first song I learned to play is probably Feelin' Groovy by Simon and Garfunkel. It's another one of those 3-chord songs, so it's nice and easy, and it's one of those you know the song, so you can concentrate on playing. And it's been one of those staples that I seem to play a lot when I'm playing out at shop. Comes back to tell me the coast is clear. It's a different world I see, and it's just my dog and me. The type of music to play and listen to. It's hard. I like to listen to so many things, anything that has a lot of energy to it. I think the ukulele is such a fun instrument. You really want to listen. You really want to play upbeat songs on it. You can play a lot of things in minor key, and sometimes it's nice to go slow, but I just really like to do the fun stuff. I want to make people laugh and sing along and kind of want to hear me play. You were safe at home by the fireside, dreaming these dreams for free. Yeah, it's just my dog and me. Oh, I've never felt so free. It was just my dog and me.
He's so talented.
And that song was so fun.
But you know who else has a hidden talent? Colin Valensik. The other day he went to a Baccarat class and he actually danced a little.
I would pay good money to see that.
Oh, don't get ahead of yourself. We've got the clip right here. Let's watch.
Hi, my name's Navi. I'm a sophomore here.
Hi, I'm Rochelle, and I'm a senior here.
Hi, I'm Jess, and I'm a sophomore.
Hi, I'm Norelli, and I'm also a sophomore.
So basically, we are a dance team, and our main goal is basically to spread the Indian culture around campus. We're involved in performances and around campus and competitions.
Bhangra itself is like an upbeat North Indian cultural dance, and it's very fun. As a whole, it is around the world. You can find it in Australia, really big in the UK, India of course, and then really big in the United States and Canada.
As like college students started to do it more, we wanted to reach out to a wider audience, And because of that, like a lot of people thought, well, this is a really good beat, it goes with the music, and it's also kind of modern, so it brings in a whole different type of audience.
We do like smaller performances for the university, weddings and things like that. So I think now it's just kind of like practicing, getting better, and like spreading the word about us.
We're at the University of Akron, room 310 in Info Station, and we have practice every Friday from 5 to 7. So come dance with us.
That was awesome. Those dancers did a great job. And Cullen, I'm impressed.
Same here, buddy. You know what I'm thinking now? Dance off!
Okay, there's no way I'm missing this, so I think we're just gonna take off. But don't forget, if you liked our show today, you can like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ZTV Lowdown.
We'll see you next time. I'm Josh Gowdy.
I'm Jenna Ramolt, and that's
The Lowdown.
This program was produced by ZTV at the University of Akron. To find out how you can make Emmy-winning media, visit the UA School of Communication online. ZTV. Make media. Make a difference.